human to provide services in the community, then now the FBI is investigating multiple departments. Did you know when you ask for money to be provided to the community, things, nonprofits, for services, for shelter, for food, for taking care of your kids, for all kinds of things, just federal money, then they give it to these council members and then they vote and give it to themselves. For example, did you know the FBI is interviewing community members and investigating Jose Huizar, council member? Now here's the problem. The guy was so arrogant, he's such a connected mafia kingpin, connected to the mafia that runs LA City Hall, which is why the FBI is investigating. And this guy right there, Jose Huizar, connected puppet, he takes money on live TV from the Clark's Fund, supposed to be earmarked for community services of specific needs. And he takes on live TV and he transfers it into a discretionary fund where there's no accountability. And before you know it, the FBI is looking into the bank account trying to see where the money was spent. So here's the problem with the city council. You got a lot of good people, but none of them were willing to stand up to the mafia-connected council member who was taking money on live TV and transferring it into his own bullshit fund, and before you know it, the money disappears, the community doesn't get what's promised, and you got the FBI investigating people. So we got Clark's Fund money, we've got All Access, this Jose Huizar with his All Access Fiesta Broadway. He allows a bunch of people to come in and thug out the streets, and it's a way that the mayor and the council members get to money launder into their campaigns, because there are limits as to how much money you can put into a campaign as a contributor. But if you have a big festival where you have AT&T and Verizon and all these cable companies, they buy sponsorships. For $100,000 you can sponsor my parade, you can buy a booth, we commercialize the hell out of it, and then it's called kickbacks. And that's why you have the FBI. So I'm here to tell you, in case you didn't know, the FBI is investigating individual city council members, especially Jose Huizar, because he took money on live TV and transferred it into a discretionary fund. Now the problem with the other council members is you facilitated, you orchestrated, you collaborated, you cahoots racketed, and you went along with it. So you might have some decent, clean council members. Guess what? The FBI, as I speak, am trying to tie and link the members who facilitated, cooperated, orchestrated, and went along with Jose Huizar and the things that he's being investigated for. Now that's just Jose Huizar. Now let's talk about Herb Wesson, housing chair. He was housing chair for so long that now the FBI is investigating housing. How many times, to the watchers at home right now on LACityNews.com, how many of you remember when I came here and said the LA Housing Department, it's run by the mafia, it's a RICO racket, and you got the rent escrow, the REAP program is merely a guise in which the city uses racketeering through erroneous liens. They eventually take properties. 2,000 properties were seized by the decent mom and pop homeowners that provide decent, reasonably priced shelter for the community, and it's through rent escrow REAP. So you might not know what it is, but you heard me talk about it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times over the past 5 years, and guess what? The FBI is investigating. What about pension fraud? Mayor Antonio Ragosa, who's nothing more than a puppet to the mafia kingpin that runs this place, but we won't mention him, but he used to be a city council member, and his guy's sitting right next to me. And the point is, the Mayor Antonio Ragosa took the pension commissioners from a capital equity firm here into Weatherly Capital Equity firm. He takes a capital equity firm board members and puts them on the pension commission and the redevelopment agency, and then they're still sitting on the equity firms. So what do? They take the money and they vote it into their phony shill projects, real estate, Wall Street, overly risky, non-investment grade. Before you know it, the city loses billions. Before you know it, the FBI is investigating. Before you know it, Andrew Cuomo arrested and put in jail the people that Mayor Antonio Ragosa appointed to these commissions. They haven't been arrested for the crimes in California, but the people living in LA, working in LA, that the Mayor Antonio Ragosa appointed to the Lacer Commission, pension commissions, of redevelopment agency commissions here in LA, are now in jail for the things they did. You don't think they were doing it here in LA. So I'm here to tell you, I don't know, enough people don't know every day when they wake up. You might read in the LA Times a little bit, but I don't know if people realize the FBI is investigating multiple departments deep and wide in the LA City Hall, including council members, and trying to tie council members together who helped Jose Huizar with his RICO racketeering. And then Denizine, what about Denizine, Matt Dowd? Oh, there's Dennis, I'm telling you. What I'd like to say to Dennis, he wants to be controller. You want to get rid of Occupy LA, it's real easy. You say we need to repair the lawn at City Hall because it's dead. So you say we're doing the repairs, you tie it off, you start the repairs with the sprinkler systems. You can have them gone like that because even public parks need to be closed for repair. But Dennis, you know, look at him. He looks like the Three Stooges more than somebody that should be the city controller, so he won't do that. But anyway, so here we're back in session with the fraud, waste, abuse, money laundering has led to multiple FBI investigations into these city council members. LACityNews.com.